Hey folks, Jake Schneider here from Life as an Outsider. I have a really fun guest with me today. As you can tell, it's a little bit of a different venue. It's not just exactly my man cave in my in my office. We are here at RockTop Boxing here in Merle Hay Mall. RockTop was put here in September of 2022, and its owner, Taylor Moore, has been doing boxing for quite a while. And honestly, I'm just really excited to have this conversation with him. I think that he's a very driven individual and somebody who has a passion for helping younger kids, as well as people who may not normally be your normal boxing crowd. I'm really excited to share this conversation with you guys. And thank you for being an outsider.
Not so long ago, didn't need much to make us happy, but now things have changed. We've got problems that take us over.
My guest today is Taylor Moore. Taylor is the owner of RockTop Boxing, based here in Merle Hay Mall. Taylor, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well.
Thanks for being on, man. I appreciate this.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, this place is awesome. As everybody can kind of see in the background, we've got the heavy bags, we've got the ring, and yeah, dude, this place is sick. How long have you guys been here?
I've been here since September last year, so
Nice.
September 2022.
Awesome. Did you do any sort of boxing before that, or?
Yeah, I was in Johnston at a bar called at a gym called the Bar Performance Gym,
Okay,
and I was there for about a year, and then just moved over here.
awesome. So, what is it about boxing? Like, have you been boxing all your life, or like, what is it about boxing that you're passionate about?
Well, I just like the individual aspect of it,
Okay.
and I like the challenge of it.
Mhm.
It's the hardest thing I've ever done, so that's what I like about it, the challenge. So, and there's no pressure of the team sport.
Mhm.
Just you go out there and you box, and you lose, it's your fault. You know, and you're not really you are boxing against somebody else, but like you're just trying to push yourself. You know, it's a mental game for yourself. So it's a personal challenge, even though you're fighting somebody else. But like he's trying to be better himself, and you're trying to be better yourself.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I never thought about the personal responsibility with that. You have a really good point when it comes to team sports. I mean, we think of things like football and basketball, and it's like, well, if the team fails, it's not just one guy's fault. It's like failure to work as a team. So, how is it that you got into doing a gym and into boxing?
Well, I love boxing. I did it ever since I was a teenager, and then I was living in Fort Dodge, a town in Iowa here.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted to box, but I didn't think there was anything like that around. And I knew how good it was for me growing up and the impact it had on my life. So I was like, well, I want to box, and I can't because there's no like boxing gyms around. And so I decided, okay, well, these kids can't either. They don't know what they're missing out on. So I went and got my coaching license and started doing it out of my garage there. And come to find out, there was a boxing gym in Fort Dodge. So I was going there. So I ended up going there too to just work out and stuff. But
Nice.
I was teaching some local kids like boxing and whatnot.
Yeah, you definitely have to learn self-defense in the Dirty Dodge. It's it's a little bit of a rough town, but
Yeah.
So you've been in Iowa your whole life?
No, I'm from Indiana.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I moved to Iowa probably 2016 or 17, something like that. So,
What brought you out here?
well, I wasn't doing too hot in Indiana. I was getting in a lot of trouble, drinking, smoking, just putting my life in a wreck. And my brother had moved to Iowa, and he was like on the same kind of route I was, but he got turned around, and then it was kind of like a last resort thing to me. So I kind of just like moved to Fort Dodge and went to a school out there, a Bible college.
Oh,
I
yeah.
went to college there and turned my life all the way around. And now I'm just staying on this path now. So that's what brought me there. Is like I was just kind of like running away from all the trouble and problems I had in Indiana, and ended up in Iowa here and just got myself straightened out.
What effect do you think boxing has had on that discipline and on that reformation and changing your life around? Do you think it's like, what effect do you think that's had?
A huge effect, because it's just it's mental. Like, it's physical, you know, because it's like grueling workouts. You got to be in the best shape of your life. You got to be in the best shape you can be in, possibly. But it's all mental. Like, you got to have a mental fortitude to even push your body through that. You know, so it's like you need the mental discipline. You need to go to sleep at night. You need to eat healthy. You need to say no to unhealthy things, so that way you can be in the best shape you can be in. And it just starts with discipline there, and then it carries over into every other aspect of your life.
It's a really good point. So tell me a little bit more about RockTop. You said that you guys have 4 boxing clubs. Tell me a little bit about each one of those.
Okay, so I have my main is youth boxing. That's my main passion, is teaching kids boxing, teaching them discipline. And so I have a youth boxing program for 8-year-olds to 12-year-olds.
Awesome. And
teaching them boxing. It's kind of like just like the basic stuff. We try to keep it fun, but it's still a lot of hard work and just.
Do you think, I'm just going to play devil's advocate here a little bit, do you think that may be too young to be teaching somebody something that some other people might call a violent sport?
No, nope, because it's just getting them the foundations of it. And it's good for them too, because if they're getting bullied on the playground, whatever, they're not allowed to fight at school. I tell them don't fight anybody outside of the ring, but it builds up confidence. You know, so it's like a bully's giving them a hard time at school, and they come here, hey, somebody's picking on me. I say, well, listen, like, that bully can't do what you can do. Like, you can run miles, you can run fast, like, it's good for them, and it helps develop maturity at a young age for them. So, although it is like a violent action, you know, like boxing is just controlled violence, but it ironically doesn't make violent people. It actually like tames people. So
I think that's a really good point, because so many people talk about, like, we think of contact sports like football, like, well, we don't want our kids playing that too early because, you know, that teaches them to be violent. You look at the amount of football players who are violent people outside of their own lives, but that's not what I'm hearing from you. What I'm hearing is we are instilling this confidence in these kids, and that confidence ultimately, like, once you realize your own self-worth, then that issue of this person's picking on me, or, you know, I'm not sure how to deal with this, that actually sounds like it kind of goes away.
Yeah, because it's just somebody's, you know, all the bullying is just saying mean things about you. So it's just like, okay, like, this person's saying mean things about me. Like, if you didn't know no better, it hurts your feelings, you know, because they say some mean things, but it's just like, okay, like, this is the best this guy's got, is just saying something like, you know, I tell these kids, like, listen, somebody's picking on you at school, they even want to fight you, just tell them, you can come to the gym, we got a ring, if you want to fight me, you can fight me at the gym, you know, under the coach's supervision. I had a kid getting bullied on the bus. There was people making fun of him on the bus. I said, he's telling me about it. Basically, I don't know if they're asking me, like, hey, coach, like, somebody's picking on me, do I got permission to fight him? You know, I think that's maybe what they're getting at, but I tell them, like, listen, if they got a problem with you, tell them, you got a gym, you got a boxing ring, they can come here with boxing gloves on, they can fight you then. And they never take them up on the offer.
Right.
They leave them alone, and they don't say anything to them again. So, like, I asked the kid, like, a week later, like, hey, how's that problem on the bus going? He's like, oh, he doesn't say anything to me anymore. I was like, well, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
What is it about younger kids, we're still focusing on that first boxing club, what is it about younger kids that you're so passionate about?
Well, it's just, me personally, I got off on the wrong foot as a teenager, like when my world expanded, and I had opportunities to get into alcohol and to get into drugs and just do all these other things that kind of come with just like running around on the streets. If you get them a sense of purpose and understand themselves at such a young age, they have the capacity to avoid those sort of things. They understand like where it can go, and instead of just even trying to dabble around with that kind of stuff, they can just avoid it altogether. So like just teaching them that they're strong and teaching them that they have a higher purpose outside of like just pure pressure and stuff like that, and show them that whatever they want to do, they can do. Like if they want to be professional boxers when they get older, great. But like I could care less if that's their case. I'm just gonna coach them today. If they come tomorrow, I'll coach them tomorrow. I don't really care like what kind of athlete they are 20 years from now. But like I tell them, if you can do something hard today, you can't run fast, but you can run today, even though you hate it. You can show up to a job interview. You can do the hard work. You can go through the college that you want to go to, the trade school. You can do, like, if you walk in here and you see the workouts I have on a board for you, you say, I can't do that. But then you end up doing it. You see, so you can show yourself that you can do things that you maybe have thought were impossible. Or like getting in the boxing ring and standing across from somebody else that wants to punch you in the face may be the scariest thing that you go through for most kids. And you can go through that. Then a job interview is not that scary. Then like other situations that you go through in life, you've kind of like already like developed some sort of toughness or fortitude to where you can experience other parts of life and that wouldn't affect you negatively.
Yeah, man, it's awesome just sitting here listening to you. You can obviously tell that there's a passion for getting our youth on the right track, and I think honestly that's where so many of our problems come from, is from young men, especially, like focusing on young men here for a second, young men especially who are raised in homes either without dads or with abusive dads or negligent dads. And I think when we continue to enforce that, and that's enforced through so much of society right now, that's when society starts to go downhill. We're not giving our kids the right morals, and we're telling them you can do whatever you want, no rules. But instead you're saying, hey, there are rules. You can fight them here in the gym. You want to fight them then? That's fine. And then you're giving them that confidence to say, you can withstand anything. I love hearing that. I think that's such a powerful thing that we need in this world.
Yeah.
Is raising young men specifically in the right way. And for some younger kids who may not have that great home experience, it sounds like you're providing that discipline here in a good way. Yeah,
and some kids, most kids, especially young boys, they're wild, and there's got to be some way for them to have an outlet. They're wild, they're tough, they got like these hard souls, and they want to go do crazy things, and then that leads to them, like, not saying they're little criminals, but like they could be, because they they got this energy that they want to get out. And you're giving them a way instead and here to be tough, to be wild, and have it controlled and have it be productive, instead of just running out, doing whatever, acting out in school, taking risk in other ways.
It's a really good point. Tell me about some of the other clubs that you have here.
Okay, so I got that club 8 to 12, then I got 13 and up, and it's the same thing, but adults are in there too, teenagers are in there, and it's a little bit harder, it's a longer class. We get down more to the more specific things. We can do harder things, like we do more weightlifting and more boxing, and I can trust them to go run farther out by themselves and stuff like that. So that's the 13 and up class, my adult boxing program. And then I have a scrappy club for kids that are 5 through 7.
Oh, wow.
And they're really young, and you never know what you're going to get with kids that age. But that one is, my philosophy behind that class is getting them ready for the youth club, the 8-year-old club. So, like, just getting them good boxing habits. So, like, a little bit about boxing. Like, one of the most important things for a beginner boxer is just keeping your hands up, right? Because you just keeping your hands up, you're protecting yourself,
right? At
least a little bit. So like that's the first step of boxing and protecting yourself is keeping your hands up. So we teach them like basic punches and how to just keep your hands up. It's only a half-hour class twice a week, and make sure we have fun there.
Yeah.
So we have fun. We're not really trying to exercise. Those kids that age, they don't really sweat, so you can't really exercise them. They don't have a focus or attention span. So just keep it moving, keep it fun, and keeping our hands up. That's about it.
Yeah, I like hearing that because so many people, I've worked with kids at my church and stuff like that, and it can be really easy to get frustrated with those 5 to 7 year olds because they're wild. I think of myself at 5 years old, and I was in pain.
It couldn't be me, man. But these kids somehow, some way, they make it happen. So
yeah, I love hearing that. And then you also have a really unique one called Bad Moms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that one.
Okay, so in the mornings I got a workout club. We centered around boxing, and it's a women's only club. And just Bad Moms is a cool name for it. So
There you go.
we kind of target like the stay-at-home mom audience.
Mhm.
And it's a women's only workout club. So we do like boxing 3 times a week. Well, we do boxing 5 times a week, but 2 of those days we'll do upper body strength training, and the other day we'll do lower body strength training.
Okay.
So getting them out of the house, getting them some exercise, hitting the bag, throwing punches is always a good stress reliever. So moms can be stressful people. So
Yeah, I can't, especially if they're raising the 5 and 7-year-olds that they're bringing in here.
exactly, yeah.
Man, I can't imagine. And you also offer boxing lessons one-on-one, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell me, you're talking a little bit about the fundamentals of boxing. You're talking about keeping your hands up. What are some of the other like fundamentals, the basics that people should know?
The initiative. So the problem is like you can get on YouTube and you can learn everything about boxing, form, technique, and look like a perfect boxer. But then like the bell rings and you got somebody across from you, and all that goes out the window. You don't know what to do. There's a mental side of it too. It's like that fortitude, taking the initiative and bringing the fight to the other guy, and knowing the mental game, because it's like a game of chess. You see, so like you can know how to throw the proper punch, but you don't know when to throw it, or you don't know what this guy is saying or what he's doing. So it's like you can flinch at him. There's different games, getting a read on the guy, watching to see what his next move is and what your move should be, being 3 steps ahead. So like training one-on-one with people is like helping them develop their own style, giving them one-on-one attention, helping them get better at boxing, but helping them develop a way that they should box for their build, for their height, for whatever personalized style they may need.
So one of the third services that you offer I saw is called body tempering, and I like that idea because I'm somebody who, I watch blacksmith videos on YouTube. It's like, oh dude, that's so cool watching somebody take a lump of steel and then beating it to heck and tempering it and strengthening it. What exactly does body tempering mean? Okay,
so body tempering is pretty much similar to foam rolling, right? So like foam rolling, myofascial tissue release, so like tight muscles, knots, you will run on foam, but body tempering is a similar fashion to that, but you just take heavy weights, and every implement's like a different size weight. Like I got a 70-pound one over here that I can make all the way up to 300 pounds. And you just put it on their muscles. I give me a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being unbearable pain. And you give me an 8. And we leave it at an 8. And then I'll set the weight on them on like a tight muscle, say like their lower back or hamstrings, and you can see the weight. It's like a butter knife, and it's just like they're a piece of butter, and just like it sinks into them. Like you see the muscle relax.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a massage, but like you can go get a massage downtown and go get it on the east side, and it's different. Like, oh, this guy is like digging his elbows way too deep, and this guy is barely scratching the surface. So it's like a massage for athletes, but you got the weight, so it's the same every time. And then just going across the heavy muscles and tight muscles and just kind of helping out the body.
So tell me a little bit more about where you got the name RockTop, and tell me a little bit about how you actually started the gym.
Okay, so I was in Fort Dodge. Well, all my life I've always wanted to have a boxing gym. So like even when I was a kid boxing, I never really cared about like being like the world champion. Someday like I was like, I'm gonna be a boxing coach.
Right.
Because these guys, my dad, he had been in and out of my life all the time, but like my coaches, there were some pretty solid guys, and I looked up to them and stuff. I love my dad, don't get me wrong, but they were there when he wasn't, and you only seen their coaches 2 hours out of the day, so they put their best foot forward, so it's like you didn't see like all their flaws and stuff. They were just like these awesome dudes, and I wanted to be like them. So I always wanted to be a boxing coach, and then when I was in Fort Dodge thinking about it, I was like, I'm gonna start a gym someday, and I needed to think of a perfect name, and I wanted the best name ever. So I was praying for like 2 weeks straight, and I was like, Lord, just give me a name. I want something iconic like Coca-Cola. Like I don't want like the Wolves Den, like boxing gym or whatever. You know. So I wanted a name that like had a nice ring like Coca-Cola. And I've been to rock bottom, and like discipline and fortitude was my way out. So, and I learned that being a rock bottom is just a perspective, right? It's just a perspective. So you can just make it the best, put one foot in front of the other and work yourself out of rock bottom. So I made a rock top.
There you go.
Opposite of rock bottom.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love that. That's such a cool metaphor too. Is like what you were saying. Rock bottom is just. It's a state of mind. It's all about perspective, and I think that's so integral. I think that's something that we need to drill into each other. Is like your rock bottom may be somebody else's mountaintop.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about being in trouble with just so many other things in Indiana, and what I love hearing is you may have hit rock bottom there, and that could have been somebody else's mountaintop because it's all about perspective. And so I love hearing that. What would you say your vision is for RockTop in the community? Are you passionate about, like you're talking about helping out kids in the community? We talked a little bit about why that community is so important. What's your vision for RockTop?
My vision for RockTop is for the youth. I work with adults. I love adults. I work with the moms. I love everybody that comes in here. But I work with older people because I love to teach them. I love to help them out too. It helps everybody. But like the real souls I want to touch are the kids because I want them to. It's like to put it in one sentence. When I started RockTop, I was like, I want to give people the tools so if they ever go to rock bottom, they know how to turn it around. Okay, because like boxing is fighting. That's all it is. And then to get out of rock bottom, you got to fight yourself out of that. So I wanted to give them the tools and discipline, and not being a victim, not feeling sorry for yourself is kind of what I want to give these guys. So I want them to be able to grow up and be amazing citizens. Like I want to see like this kid over here that may be trouble in the gym, but I want to see him someday be something great. Now, like, and for me, success isn't, like he's a doctor, he's a lawyer or whatever, but like raising great families, doing good things, not making dumb mistakes, that sort of thing. So like my vision is just to give these guys something to build their lives off of. And it's not just like how hard they can hit somebody, it's just like how hard they can push themselves, how disciplined they can be. And you can be disciplined and still have fun. So I want these guys like to not have to worry about having anxiety, not having mental health issues, not being depressed because like they have the tools to like either avoid it outright, or if they do find themselves in a slump, because most people end up getting off the path or find themselves off on the wayside in the slump, they got the tools to like get right back to it. They know how to do that kind of stuff, and I try to help them out outside of boxing too, just like helping them learn, read the books, figure you got somebody you're learning from, cool, who'd he learn his stuff from, and then learn from that guy, just keep on learning.
I like that you're not focusing on making the next Frazier, the next Foreman, the next Ali, the next great thing. Like, it could be so easy to be like, I'm here to make the next best boxer, but instead you're saying, I'm here to make the next best citizen. Dude, that's so cool to hear. That mentorship idea is so important too. I mean, I've had a mentor in my own life that really impacted me through just being patient with me and working with me. And I can tell you how important that is in our community, and I love hearing the desire to build the young men of Des Moines into more than just seasoned boxers. Into seasoned citizens, into strong men. You've alluded a few different times to your faith, talking about going back to Bible college here in Fort Dodge and the RockTop, and praying for that name. How has that been how has your faith been your foundation in the last couple of years since being in Fort Dodge?
Well, it's just like God for me. I'm a firm believer in Jesus. He's changed my life. So I was in the slump. I was in rock bottom. And he somehow provided a way for me to get out of that. He opened the door for me to go to Fort Dodge. He's ordered my steps in a way. It was up to me to follow him or to like make the decisions, but he kind of laid this stuff out in front of me. You know, like ever since I got with God, life's been easy. You know, it's like it may not look that way, but like you understand everything you go through is a lesson or there's a purpose or like anything. Like you could get a flat tire on the side of the road, be mad about it and get out and walk, but you're supposed to get in the car with whoever picked you up, you know. Now maybe that's not like sound advice for some lady out there, you know, but like
take that with a piece of caution. Just
exactly.
Be wise.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is like I feel like God has just ordered my life, ordered my steps, and put me in the right place, and I'm just supposed to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm just supposed to make the right choices, and like God's just going to use me as a tool to help improve other people's lives. And sometimes it feels like I'm not doing anything at all, but then I hear somebody say like, "Oh, thank you for all the great things you've done for me," and stuff like that. So it's just like learning about Christ and everything that He's done. Keeping theology like a hobby of mine, just learning, reading a good book, doing all that stuff, and God's been good to me. Everything that I got is because of Him, and the way He works in my life is timing. You see, like I remember a few years ago, it's just like, for me, it's just anybody else looks like coincidences, you know, but like I'll like not have enough money for this bill or that bill. And I'll get like some side money here and there, and everything just like works out like right on time, that sort of thing. Like it's hard for me to explain, but my wife and I, like, we talk about it a lot. But like the way God works in my life is timing. So that's not, He probably works that way with everybody's life, but that's the way I see Him in my life the most, is just like blessing me at the perfect time in the perfect place and that sort of thing. So just having my faith has kept me on the right track, has kept me doing the right things, because everything I do to glorify God. You know, I don't have like crosses up and Bible verses up all over the place, but like I'm not where I'm at and who I am because of myself. I talk about like discipline and hard work, but for me, that is in order to glorify Him. Otherwise, I wouldn't really have any reason. Like, yeah, I'm sure like if I didn't believe in Christ, I would just probably still be disciplined or whatever, but maybe I wouldn't, you know. I represent Him, and I got a duty to fulfill for Him, and it just makes being disciplined a little bit easier, and yeah.
Honestly, I can't think of a better note to wrap up on. You've made the comment that God is using you to be the tool to form other people, and from everything I'm hearing, it sounds like that is 100% true. And the work that you're doing in the community and in the passion that you have for shaping our young men. And you may not be sharing your faith, sharing the gospel with them every single chance, but you're living it out in front of them. And I think that's just as big. And I love hearing what you're doing here. This place is really cool. And so tell our listeners, tell our viewers, how do we find this place?
We're located in the Merle Hay Mall, underneath the movie theater, 2 doors down from Bath and Body Works. You can find us on Facebook, RockTop Strength Training and Boxing, the website, rocktop.org, and just come in. I'm here all day, every day. So, and at the gate's down, you scan the QR code and take you to the website.
Awesome. Yeah, just follow the scent of the candles, and you'll be right here. So, dude, Taylor, this has been a really fun conversation. I can't express how much I love what you're doing. I've had those mentors. I'm fortunate enough to have had a father who's been very present in my life, who is another model of Jesus for me, and I love hearing about that for the people that have not had that. That's your goal, is to provide that in some sense. And yeah, man, I truly wish you absolutely nothing but continuous success with this place. You've only been open since September, so I think that you've still got some room to grow, and I mean that in the best way possible. Because this place is awesome, and I think you're doing a lot of stuff right, man.
I appreciate it, Jake.
Awesome. Thank you for being an outsider with me today, brother.
Thank you.
Seriously, come check out RockTop. Taylor's the man. Thank you guys for being an outsider.
Come on now.